One last one. I added most of the links and I didn't plan on doing another one. I went to New Jersey and New York on my little trip. Here's the pictures. And I visited my father and my mom, who have been divorced for a long time. But I also visited Alex, who is sort of like a stepbrother. You could say in that family, who my father's new wife, if you will, Lydia, had two sons, Alex and Lucio. Italian boys. They were from Italy, the real first generation coming over. I met Lucio once. He was nice. I like Lucio. I remember he asked me about my Mustang. This was like 7 years back now. Lucio had a girlfriend. An ex-girlfriend, was somebody he knew in the past. A girl. But they knew each other. They had some problems. But what she managed to do was get a restraining order on Lucio. And one day, my stepbrother Lucio was shopping in a grocery store. Now, whether the girl wanted to find something on him, I don't know. But then she goes to this store, whether she wanted to get within a certain distance, because she went to that store. And when she seen him at that store, that was enough for her to have him arrested. And he told my stepmother Lydia, because it's recounted later, said, "I'm ready to go be with Jesus," he told Lydia. And then my father and Lydia came home one day, and I believe Lucio shot himself in the head. I believe he shot himself. He killed himself. He shot himself. And my father found him dead and tried to do CPR. My dad's older, even at that time when Lucio killed himself. Now maybe that girl thought it was funny. Let me go find him, if that happened in that way. But just the fact that he was in like an HEB and she could just possibly show up at that HEB, that was enough to get the law to arrest him. And he said, "I'm tired of going through it." And he killed himself. Now you have cases where girls have been known. I just posted the link as I'm going to post these up. They've been known to go out and make multiple charges against ex-husbands of molesting their children. Multiple times, meaning they accused the ex-husband of molesting the child the first time, didn't work, then 2 years later, he molested the child. You would think like after a while there would be some accountability. And then the girls later in some of those cases said, "Mom made me lie." And in some of those cases, as hard as you want, the dads are still in prison. You said, "But you mean if the daughters then recanted?" I'm telling you, people don't realize that. In those cases, all of those women are highly wicked. Now, if you have a female judge or a female lawyer or anything that actually says, "We know that the accusers are lying, but us ladies need to stick together." Can you imagine? They do stuff like that. I'm giving you statistics of cases where. So I don't take any of this as sort of like, and God doesn't either. You speak the truth in this stuff. You speak the truth dealing with these things. Look at that link. I'm going to put it on as I post the Patriot Dad link. None of this is like a joke. Mr. Guy Williams, Judge Guy Williams, who has now been targeted by the CCPD. I read it. They're going after him on something. But many of the cases that they let the kids lie, they let the kids that were accused by like moms. Oh, my ex-husband molested my child type thing. Well, a lot of those cases, then they came back and they were shown, wait a minute, you didn't even interview the kids properly. This was a scandal here. And so a lot of it was false testimonial. All those are coming back. They might have thought it was funny. There's a case like that. Okay, so if you want justice, you make sure that the lady judges in your community, if they're aware in serious cases, like the mechanic case, and they're aware that testimony from the friends are actually there saying, no, my friend lied and all, and you permitted all that to go through, testimony in court, and I believe Ms. Watts was in charge. You had testimony in court, accusers lied about being bound, lied, evidence came out, and they were like afraid to admit it. Well, yeah, she lied this, she lied. I don't take any of these things lightly. I consider those that have colluded in that you are criminals. In the case of my brother, stepbrother, you're a murderer. Yes. In the case of my stepbrother, you are a murderer. If it happened according to the way I heard. So I just thought I'd give that last one. Because I was looking at the links, and that Patriot Dad link, he actually has, I'd go to that link, but he gets a lot of statistics. If I said Mr. Markle rubbed up against me the other day, and I think maybe he tried to sexually molest me, of course you'd say, well, that's ridiculous. Do you know if you had a girl that said that, and it was an underclass Hispanic male or something, that's all it would take to say, well, the accusation was made. You say, but John, you would need DNA evidence. Look, in these courts here, they had DNA evidence showing innocence, meaning it was DNA of other people, and they still had convictions. That's an amazing thing. It's a rape case. There was DNA, and the DNA was the DNA of someone else. It fit other people. And they still got a conviction. That's an amazing thing. Maybe you were not aware of that. You say, John, we didn't know anyways. Look, you don't get the ranking of number 2. So when I see that, I don't know how deep the corruption is with each and I know some, it's deep, okay? Because I know some. This isn't a man or woman issue. If you had a male judge that was saying, well, I know a certain male raped a woman, but he's part of my gender, so I'm going to look to find him. And that, of course, would be wicked. But why do you have women judges or women lawyers that have been known to do that? That have been known to say, well, we're just going to side with the girl. That shows me that those that do those things. And look, there are a lot of verses. I put some on there about justice and judgment. Thou sufferest that woman Jezebel to see. There's a particular thing, that verse from, I'm not anti-woman, okay? But I'm saying in systems, and I don't also teach, some teach the old teaching of, I give that verse, suffer not a woman to usurp authority over a man, have judgment and teaching and so forth. Some older churches say women can't teach, or I don't hold to that view. But there is a particular, as you look at that, there's a particular thing like, well, I'm a lady. And are you saying, maybe I did wrong? Sort of like they hold it more of an offense. If you were going to hold a male judge to accountability, that might be considered, okay, deformity. But some of the women are like, I'm a lady. But ma'am, if you want to hold those office and then wrongdoing is shown by you, why would you appeal to, but I'm a woman? You see? And we've seen some of that happen. So, I didn't get to see Lucio. I saw Alex, who's not doing well, who's the surviving stepbrother, because a female, through the court system, managed to commit murder. through the legal system, she committed a murder. The murder of my stepbrother Lucio.